So what do we find here? Some very old pay tickets for the parking. 2015. Okay. Some broken clips, some screws and stuff. So what I know, the guy from the M3 Interior said, these air ducts, you can just click them out. And then we come to the point, this airco unit, you can get it up a little bit, so you can get the carpet out. To get it in, the Bentley manual from BMW says that you have to like cut it out. I rather put it in because yeah, for the water leaks and for the sound and stuff, I want to keep it in. This thing got your evaporator and stuff. I want to refurbish this. It's still working. Your engine is from the other side. You can get it from your engine bay, but when this is out you can refurbish everything. I also want to like paint this maybe, but I'm not going to do it now. This is more than enough work. So I'm going to click this out, and then I'm going to see if I can get enough clearance when I get this frame out to get this unit up. You have to watch out because there's a plug at the bottom. When you pull it out or when you push it in, the plug can get out, and then your condense from your airco comes out. Also, I can get the lines out, but when you get your lines out, you need to replace the O-rings. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to see if there is enough room. Let's see how we can click this one out. I've never done this before. Okay, I can see it here. There's a push clip here, and the guy explained me that if you get them over it, you can click them out, and the guy was right. So this is the left side. I hope the other side is as easy as well. So here at the top, okay, I need to push it a little bit. It's plastic, so it can break off, but it's also flexible, so do it with care. This one is more stuck. Let's see. It's only one that holds it. Let's see if I can get it off without breaking it. Yes, it's off. Okay. A little bit stones in it. So, what I'm going to do now, put this at the left side. I'm going to take this frame loose over here. I'm going to throw the black carpet away. Most of the guys, they want black carpet and they swap it for the grey one, but because of the full interior, I've got the full grey M3 interior, so I want this grey. So I'm going to get it out. I think I'm going to cut this one out because I'm going to throw it away anyway, and then I'm going to try to get the frame out and then get the new carpet or the refurbished one in, and also under this airco unit. So if it's too hard, I'm not going to get the unit out, then I'm going to cut it as well, but I'm going to do it really nicely. So for now I'm going to get it loose and cut the black carpet out. I marked this air duct, but as you can see, OEM, it's already there. Left side. So the left side is this side and the right side is that side. Please mark everything so it's easier to get it in. Most of everything I know how it works and where it belongs, but it's so many stuff that you have to mark it. So please take my tip and do it. Mark everything, put everything back where it belongs, and put it in cups so you know where everything needs to be placed. Lil. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Hallelujah. And it's loose. So push this clip down and slide it up at once. So the bottom and here slides to the left. And then only push this in and then pull it out. Done.
Every time we start locking eyes, lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control. Let the darkness take control. Darkness take control. May the darkness take control. Take me in the smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Teardrops on the floor. The pain is over. Feel the darkness take control. Darkness take control.
Then you can flip these ones and push them up and get the carpet in. It's really close. And there is a drain plug over there somewhere, but it is possible. And it's yet another day. It's a little bit darker here because I put something over the car. Because if you put your battery off, the magnet doesn't work. So there can be water leaking inside the car. So today I am going to clean the dash. I'm going to use the green soap for that, because there aren't any chemicals in it. Make sure you spray it, because or else you can get rust. And this is like really light fluids on it. And I'm going to use some gloss X for that as well. This is the old carpet, so I'm going to cut it. This is a special knife that I used for my gym, for the floor. It's a 3 centimeters thick rubber floor, and this cuts through, so it must be easy to cut the carpet. And then it's going to be a failure or not for the frame. The guy from the M3 told me that in the corners that aren't blind bolts, they're just to center the hole. I hope that's true, or else I have a problem. But like I told you before, the left one of these is a bolt without any grip on it. That's why they call it a blind bolt. The guy from the M3, he sent me a YouTube video that they tried it from the top. What I mean with that is they put a wrench on it, pull it a little bit, and when there's enough space, enough clearance, they do it by hand at the bottom. The guy ordered new bolts at the BMW dealer, but like with a lot of orders there, you have to order them by 10. So he's going to send me the seat belts at the rear and the new bolt if I can get it off. But first I'm going to start with cleaning up the dash. So this is like one of these examples of when you work at a project, there is always stuff that's going to take some extra time. So this side has a bolt. I'm going to check which side the bolt gets loose. First check out the normal one. No. Okay, it gets loose the other way. So we have to twist. We have to twist to that side. So now we're going to take the special tool. So it doesn't work, so I'm going to start cutting over here so I can see the wires and can start ordering stuff. I'm going to start at the easy part. I'm going to cut from here. Watch out, you don't cut any wires. So pull it towards you and then cut it. You can feel it with your finger. No wires. There are wires behind it, so watch out. Okay, I found the way. First of all, be careful with your fingers. And second of all, be careful with the wires. If you cut only the surface, like this, you can pull the rest, like this. So, now I am going to cut to myself. First, only the surface, then pull it, and it gets loose. I don't know why, but my girlfriend, she likes to take out the carpet. So I'm going to call her so she can take out the first piece of the black carpet. Okay, then for the last piece, you have to cut this tie rib. Make sure you don't cut the wires. get it out. Twist it, and then you must be able to pull this one out. Okay, and it's loose. Hi. Leave this part in so you can still sit here while you work on the wires on the other side. I've cut the wire, so I have to fix it. So like I said, be very careful when you cut your carpet. Okay, the blind nut issue. This doesn't work, but we haven't got any clearance at the bottom, so we cannot put a wrench on it. If this doesn't work, I'm going to put weight 40 on it and going to tick it loose. For now I'm going to use a Dremel and try to create a space so we can put a screwdriver on top of it. Make sure you cover it up, because this gives some small metal pieces and it's irritating to clean that up. Make sure you go deep enough so it doesn't only hit the conic parts, but also the bolt himself. Fingers crossed, guys. No movement. I can also put a rattle on it, but I'm going to grind it up a little bit more. it one more try with this one. I made some more clearance so I can put the rattle in. So you have to do it clockwise, so that direction. Fingers crossed again, guys.
Take me in the smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start looking as a lost control.
Okay, first I'm going to clean these small iron parts from the grinding. I'm going to make some paper wet and then dip it off. As you can see. Okay. Then I'm going to take some paper and I'm going to spray some weighted 40. So at the bottom and the top. And now I'm going to try to tick it loose. Yes, we got some movement. Really guys, this bolt is a pain in the ass. Okay, it's off, so I'm going to show you, because a friend of mine told me sometimes they have ripples in it and they hit it in, so you have to put the hammer on it to put it down. But like you can see, it's all flat behind and it's really like a bolt. So now it's removed and we can put the same bolt in as at the right side. So like I said, I'm going to remove this bolt and then later I'm going to replace the blind one for a bolt. Then under here are two more bolts. I'm going to get them loose, and yeah, only at the sides. The only thing that can go wrong is that the bottom here, that this blind one is also a bolt, and the guy from the M3 Interior said that it was only to center it. So if that's the case, it should come off. When this can come up a bit, I can pull out the carpet and maybe can pull in the new carpet. So that's what I'm going to do now. And yeah, while I'm there, I'm going to show you guys. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I'm pretty experienced in swapping interiors and customizing interiors. But even for me, it's like, this is so much bolts and wires and whatever. It's like losing your way in the forest. So what I do is I have this cup, and this is for the frame, and then on the bottom I, for example this one, I write down the steering wheel column right side, and that I'm going to put in the cup from the frame. So if you do this, you can put everything where it belongs. If you don't do it, you're probably going to mix something up. I don't want to do that. I think you guys don't want that either. So use the cup and use the tape. Mark it. I have to get the frame so the bar still loose there. But good news. You can really see, yeah, you can see it. These aren't blind bolts because there is already some movement in it. So these are just to center the hole, so that's good. I think it's good to go. Going to make the last bolt loose and then I can take up the frame. It's raining outside, but it's dry into the E46. Like I said before, when you do this outside and it starts to rain, or you know that it's going to rain, put something from plastic above your roof because the magnets aren't working. So for now, where am I? I'm working at the last bolt. Okay, this one is extremely hard to reach. Of course, the last one is the hardest to reach. This is a 13. Also 13, so I'm going to look if a small version will fit. I think this is too thick. I'm going to try it. I hope I don't need an extension. I just made it. Okay guys, important thing. To get it loose, you have to go clockwise with these things. Don't ask me why, but normally you go to the left. Now you have to go to the right. They're already pretty tight, so if you do this wrong, they can break off. You don't want this to break off. That would be a pain in the ass. They're pretty long bolts, so what I do, I let the steering column resting down, so there's downforce on the bolt, almost loose. Like you can see, the steering column is getting loose and getting towards me. It's still attached at the bottom, so you don't have to be afraid it's coming off. Okay, where's the bolt? Okay, I see this now. There are some wires mounted to the column. So if I let it loose now, they will break. So I'm going to cut the tie rib. And now I'm going to let it loose. Check if there are no other wires. Only this one. Okay, it's loose. Just hanging here. We're done. So the last bolt. Let's see if it's also clockwise. No. This one is counterclockwise. So if I got this one loose, I don't have to get it out all the way. Just got the tension out of it. Then the frame should be able to move by now. Let's check it out. Yes. Okay, it's moving. So if you get this bolt out, you can get the whole frame out. If you let it in like this, you can put it up, and like the guy from the M3 did, you put it up and then tighten this bolt so it stays in that position. Have it your way, do what you think is nice to work with. Now I'm going to try to get the carpet out. Okay guys, very important tip. When you remove this, or when you get it in an angle that you like, be aware that this can cut your airbag, so be careful with your airbags. And also the not blinded bolts, but the center bolts are in here, so you have to like pull them out. So if you want to get the bar out, here the cables are mounted to the frame. They're loose now. Once again, pay attention for your airbags. And then on the other side as well, your airbag cable. It's like from plastic and it clicks in. Okay, it's loose. So, must be able to come off now. Okay, this is one of these things, you better do that with 2 persons. Let's see, to get the cable around it, at this side. Okay, it's at the back. Here everything's okay. Some cables at the front. Make sure all the cables are behind the bar. See another airbag cable here. And a big one. Okay, it's behind it. This one also. This side is loose. And that should be loose as well. I don't know if the fuse box is mounted against it. I'm going to check it. I think the fuse box is mounted against it. I'm going to click it in. Yes, the fuse box is mounted. Okay. So, like you can see, the fuse box is mounted against the frame. So I'm going to see if I'm going to place the frame back or get the fuse box loose. So while you're working here and the fuse box is loose, it's your chance like to clean up the wiring, whatever old owners have done with it, and make everything nice and clean. The thing that I don't know yet, maybe you guys know it, when you have an empty slot and you put in a fuse, is there already power on it, or do you still have to put power on it yourself? I'm probably going to post this vlog later, so I have to find it out myself. But then I'm going to tell you guys the answer. I run up to another problem. The cable over here. Don't get it loose by automatic. Get it loose there. Okay guys, this is like really sweating. Getting the carpet out. I took some of the thick foam, I pulled it out, and now I try to wiggle the carpet out, but it's really stuck. And you have to take care of the wires and you have to watch out for the drain. I just talked to the guy from the M3 interior and we brainstormed, and what we're going to try to do is put the rubber back. So you have to put the rubber inside the chassis and around the plug from this evaporator, or however it's called. And then the carpet, we're going to split it, so we're not going to cut it out, because if you do that then you don't have any sound damping above the transmission. So we're going to split it there, put the carpet in, and then put the two halves together. So that shouldn't be any problem. The problem is, can I get the rubber back without getting this thing out? So I'm going to try it. So the final thing that we have to take apart is this T50 torque. You get the bolt off, you can then get this bar off, and then the seat belt and the foot part of the carpet. So it's really raining outside, and it's like normal if you have any sit backs when you're working at your car. There's always one or more things that you will find if you get stuff loose. But I found out the car literally is rusting away there, and rusting away there under my feet. So I was like really shocked, because if it's too much, so if the material is eaten up too much by the rust, you have to weld in new plates, and there's wiring on top of it, and that's really almost not doable. But I'll get you off the stick. It is still possible. I already worked at it. The other side is less. So what is important, that the circle was here, that you cut out until where the rust is. So other one. I'm going to sand it first, clean everything really good, then ungrease it. I'm going to put the rust converter on it, and at this time I'm also working at the E36 flock, but I have to paint there, so I'm going to paint these parts as well, and then I can go further with building on the E46. So I have some Dynamat and some knobs. The Dynamat is for the anti-vibration, and the knobs is to enhance the volume. I have rainbow speakers, especially for the E46, also with the tweeters. Harman Kardon is too old. This is what I use, from the old one to the new one. Okay guys, we have to get the material on operating temperature. That's about 20 degrees. It's a little bit cold outside, so I'm going to use a hair blower. Please guys, don't start spraying in your car with a spray can. Just put it in a cup and then apply it with a brush. It's also better to do it with a brush because then you can dip it more in. Second layer you can put on with a spray can, but the first layer I always do with a pencil. It's really one of my favorite products. I love it. It's already start working. I'm definitely going to need a second layer. But what the hell is happening to this thing? When I put it off, it was like pretty good. I mean, no rust. And it's just standing here inside the car, not even water on it, and it starts rusting. So I'm going to do this later, but way too much work now. So later I'm going to refurbish this thing, the evaporator, and also going to paint this. But first I have to do these repairs. Put the rest of that interior in. Another tip, when you heat up the temperature over here, this gets flexible and you can push the rubbers like in places like here. You can push it down so there can't get any dirt and water in. So that's what I did. I heated up for the RC900 and I also bended back the rubber so it's close as good. So I just got my parcel from Offenga arrived. It's for the third seat belt. Like I mentioned before, from the model the year 2000 month 6. So that's like pre-facelift outside and facelift partly from the engine. There's a retrofit option, pre-fitted. So it's here. It's from 330i CD, so that's diesel. I've got a shelf from the M3. For this you only need the seat belt and you need a new shelf with opening for the third seat belt, of course. So it's not only with the M3, it's also with the 330i. I'll show you. So for the mounting you only need a Torque T50. I've got a new bolt. It's only like $2 and I'm going to mount it with some Loctite that I got from another product that I got a flock from, the DISA unit. So I'm going to use some Loctite to tighten it up and to keep it there because you don't want your seatbelt to get loose. So before I'm going to mount it, I'm going to clean it a little bit, put some grease in it, and then I'm start mounting it. Seriously, it's jammed. I know they got 2 pairs on stock. I'm going to check if I can fix this one, or else I have to return it. That's the thing with second-hand toys. So I just got off the phone with the company where I got the seatbelt from, and they said you have to put it on the position how to mount it, and then it's unlocked. So I'm going to try. I don't believe it, but we'll see. Can you believe it? It works. So if you got a third seat belt, mount it first, then it works, or else it doesn't work. Okay, I put the Loctite in and some grease, and it's on. So now I'm going to build in the rear side, because when everything is so chaos I try to place back some of the parts so I get some rest and some clearance. So now I'm going to rebuild the rear side. I cleaned the back shade, also the sunshade. Already put grease into this hard to reach spots. When this gets loose, I'm going to use some spray glue for that. for these points, and you're going to use some contact spray, and the Brembo Be Quiet on the gliding parts, and then I'm going to mount this. Okay guys, my gym is like really fully packed. I mean full, everything is full, and there are already parts inside the E46, so it's even more parts. It's a full swap, also with the heated seats and the electrical seats, a third seat belt, etc. And the most difficult part is the carpet, if you want to do it the right way. So if I have to give it like stars, it's 4 out of 5 for sure. There probably are some more difficult do-it-yourself jobs at the E46, but this is definitely a 4 out of 5. It costs really a lot of time, and also pretty much basic plus knowledge about which wire to put where. Do you have to secure them, yes or no, and where are all the bolts from, and where to put them back. So yeah, definitely a 4 out of 5. This is like a bucket list thing. Once in a lifetime I wanted to do this swap. I always wanted this color. So yeah, still enjoying it, but because of the setbacks of the bolt and also because of the rust at the bottom, it took a lot of more time and effort and also money than I expected. So I'm going to be really happy when these two bad boys are working and all this stuff is out of my gym and I can train again. Peace! Okay guys, this is like pretty extreme. A tip, like you can see here, I'm missing that part. So before you throw away the old parts, or when you sell them, make sure you got everything. Also there's like a sensor coming out of here, and I almost wanted to throw that one away and I forgot to get the sensor out. So I'm going to check the whole dash, and if everything is there in here, it's like new. All the clamps, you can see it's like almost brand new. So most of it is in, but like I said, sensor and stuff, I have to get it out of the old one before I throw it away. So another tip, make sure to check everything if it's the same, and if you need some old parts for the new one, and then throw the old one away or sell it. Of course the old interior I'm going to sell. So yeah, trying to clean it up, but it's too much, man. So this is the old glove box and this is the new one. I'm detailing the shit out of it and I'm still not ready. But to be able to use your original key in your new glove box, you have to swap this. You only have to get these two screws loose from the back, and this plate comes off, and you don't even have to put your key in it. This gets loose and you can swap it from your old glove box to the new one, and you can use your original key. So before I mount the speakers, I always use some rubber conditioner. And what I also did is made more clearance here for the speaker wire, because I used some thicker wire. Big one is always the plus and the smaller one is the mass. Good morning guys. Be careful with your coffee and other beverage while your carpet is off. I have 3 days left when the temperature is between the 10 and 20 degrees. I have 2 layers of RC900 rust converter, so I'm going to take the bandage off. This one looks pretty good, but this one wasn't the worst one. That was the other one, so I'm going to take you off. Let's check out this one. When it's like purple, it means that it worked. So this is good enough. I'm going to apply 2 thin layers of primer. Don't spray it in your car because the spray mist will come everywhere. So I'm going to apply 2 thin layers and I'm going to wait at least 50 minutes in between. And then after it dries, I'm going to show you the result. I'm going to apply this final coating. This little bad boy is like a structured paint, so there's a little bit wrinkle in it. It's very thick, so it stays good for at least 8 years, but it's very important that the rust is away because it's still rusting under it if you don't do that. So I have to put 2 thick layers on it and I have to wait for 4 hours for the second layer. And everything has to be finished in 8 hours. And if you don't do that, you will have to wait for 2 weeks and you have to grind it up. So I'm going to put on the first layer, and then today I'm definitely going to do the second layer, even if it's in the middle of the night. So I'm going to apply it quick.
Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking as a lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but
Put a tiny little bit of effort in finding some rusted part, grind it up, put a little bit of converter on it, and then maybe a dipstick. I used a pencil. There. There. And there. For the parts where the paint is off, I cleaned it up, grinded it up and put some degreaser on it. And I have this tip stick, which I'm going to apply on this kind of parts. So before I'm going to mount the C-styles back, I'm going to exchange this tape. It's all dried out and it's old. I do that by fabric tape. This one is from a good mark. It's around 5 to 50 bucks, depends where you buy it. And it's soft and the same as OEM. So I'm going to exchange it and then I'm going to mount. So a small tip that I learned from a good mechanic. When you start at the old part, always twist it around twice and then start wrapping. And then at the end, wrap off like twice again, and then it's done. So you really have to watch out that this hole is centered. So I had to push it up a little bit more. So this is nice and tight. The unit has to be mounted like this. So this light is shining to the rear shelf. And this one is shining towards you. This BMW LED. So to the passenger seat. So it has to get in like this. And it's a click system. So you have to click it in like that first and then push it down. And it's in. Guys, don't over tighten it. It's plastic. Some people have like the need to really over tighten everything and it can break off. So put it on tight and tie this tight. So that's good. The rear is starting to look like a car a little bit. The front a little bit less. But we keep on working piece by piece.